Hey, what's going on, guys? For this week's Mook review, we're actually taking a look at an issue of Hobby Japan Mechanics. This is the HA Mechanics issue number 3 on MSV, so mobile suit variation that we're going to see in here. Right there off the bat, you can see that awesome looking full armor Gundam right on the front, looking very cool there with Johnny Ridden Zaku as well. A lot of cool stuff we're going to see in this issue. Let's go ahead and get into it. So like I said, right here on the front, this is issue number 3, and the MSRP for this one, 1,500 yen. In total, we've got about 110 or so pages here, so a little over 100 pages, not so bad for the price. On the back side, the wraparound of that image there with some more Zakus, another gym over here for a kind of full space battle scene here, which does look really cool, gotta say. All right, but let's get into it here. We've got our table of contents right on the front inside cover, so we're right into business here with the Johnny Ridden's Zaku 2, high mobility type Zaku 2 there. That is the Master Grade 2.0, it looks like to me. We'll of course see some more details about that here momentarily. So mobile suit variation, here we got a sneak peek of some of the kits that are going to be involved, including that full armor Gundam that we saw there on the front, which looks very, very cool. A master grade kit that I've not built and am very much looking forward to building if and when I get the opportunity. So here's a little bit about some different MSV mobile suits, of which I'm a big fan, so always looking forward to some more MSV suits coming out at any point in time. Would love some more coming out in the master grade line, would be really cool, but high grade, you know, whatever the case may be. And there's more on the next page here, some more Zakus and Zaku different variation prototypes up here, including the Gelgoog down here as well, Gelgoog cannon there, for example, and of course the Zeong. So a lot of really cool designs in here that I would love to see some mobile suits of. And then for the EFSF side, the prototype Gundam and the G3 Gundam there as well. Some different gym variations. Some of these we have seen kits of. The Master Grade Gym Sniper custom there, for example, we have that in Master Grade form. Some of these we also have high grades of in the HG, like MSD line, basically an offshoot of the HG, the Origin lineup. But, all right, so first off, let's get into our Master Grade full armor Gundam here. This one is modeled and described by Yoshitaka Chotoku. Really awesome looking build here with some really nice, fairly subtle weathering on there, which gives it a really, really nice kind of realistic look to that. So we got a couple of very large photos here of the full armor Gundam. Love the color scheme and love the design of this one. And yeah, the painting and weathering on it is really, really nice here as well. A bunch more photos here, some more large photos and a couple of smaller detail images here of some of the different parts of the kit. Really, really nice looking. Absolutely. So definitely some really nice inspiration here for if you wanted to do this style of weathering, or not necessarily, well, inspiration as well as the word that I was searching for was reference images here for if you want to do this style of weathering. It's really nice reference images there to see some of this space weathering on this. There's a couple of work in progress photos over here and here. Looks like he did some custom modification to like the chest vents, for example. Rather than like that hex pattern there, he opted for this kind of like wire mesh pattern there for those chest vent parts. Really, really cool. All right, next up we've got the Zaku 2 high mobility type here, modeled and described by Naoki. This one is the Johnny Ridden's Zaku 2. This one also looking really, really nice. He opted for not the subtle weathering that Naoki does use in a lot of his builds. This one actually doesn't have that, and it's just a very clean build, but really, really nice. You can tell there's some modifications. The feet immediately stick out as a point of modification, custom modification. This also looks like the thighs, added some bulk to the thigh, changed up the feet quite a bit, made those a lot kind of smaller as well as taller, giving them a kind of very different look to that. I assume we'll see some more work in progress images here in a moment on this. Johnny Ridden's color scheme on the Zaku 2 is not one that I've ever been like a huge fan of, but I gotta say this one looks really, really nice. It looks really good here in this slightly more orangish red kind of color. The yellow spikes, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of that, but I gotta say it's looking really good here. I gotta say, I really like that quite a bit. So here's the original artwork there that this is based off of, and here we can see the original kit versus the custom kit there, so you can kind of tell seeing them side by side. And also over here there's a couple of side by side comparisons, how the shield was reshaped a little bit, made it kind of less curved on the top and more angular, and like I said, modifications to the leg and the arm over here, some detail added, some scribing, a little bit of reshaping there to the elbow armor piece there as well. So Some really nice modifications there on that Zaku. Next Zaku here is the Black Tri-Stars high mobility type one here. I'm just trying to see who's exactly. I'm not sure if, well, I guess this is meant to be. I'm not sure if it's Gaia or Mash or whatever. But anyway, this one's modeled and described by Kei Tadano. A really, really nice looking build here of this one. This is, again, the Master Grade 1/100 scale kit, and a really cool build. If you guys have never built a Master Grade 2.0 Zaku 2, whether it be any version of the Zaku 2 2.0, high mobility type or not, I would highly recommend you guys to build one. It's such a fantastic kit and has withstood the test of time. The 2.0 Zaku has been out for quite a while, and I should also mention, this Mook is not new. This Mook came out, when did this actually come out? It's been a few years. This came out in 2019, so anyway, the Zaku 2 2.0 Master Grade kit is obviously even 5 years older now than at the time, but I mean, it still holds up so well. It's such a fantastic kit. And we have the large axe, which of course we have in HG form, but in this case that just had to be entirely scratch built there, it looks like, and very cool work on that. Looks really interesting. I can't remember who was the one that used the giant axe. Was it Mash, Ortega, or Gaia? I don't recall. I'm sure it says somewhere in the text in here. I would have to go in and look. Okay, so it looks like this is Ortega here. We got the pilot figure right there. So it's Ortega's use, and we've got also the bazooka. That also would have had to been custom build. You can see the work in progress photos here for the bazooka as well. Obviously, again, we have that in HG form, but of course, no Master Grade. I really, really hope at some point that we will get a Master Grade origin version of the Zaku 2, whether it be the regular one or the high mobility type or whatever. But yeah, you can see even some more of the different modifications done on this are basically to make it look more like the origin version, like the scribing here on the legs, for example. Not so much in other areas, like the chest is still a little bit different. But you can see it's definitely modeled to look a bit more like the origin version. High mobility type Zaku 2. Anyway, okay. Up next, a little feature here on the Saikomu Zaku. Another really cool design. This one, I think this is the bishop, right? The kind of nicknamed bishop. And over here you can see what the original kit is going to look like versus this custom build. The original kit is one of the old 80s MSV kits in 1/44 scale. And this painted build looks absolutely fantastic. So there's like a little mini tutorial here about how to do some weathering on the kit, or just some filtering, actually. It's kind of what it's talking about there. Filtering and then chipping, and then also using some pigment powder there to do some streaking or some kind of added effects with the Tamiya Weathering Master pigments there. So, very cool. All right, the Dom Tropical Test Type, another really awesome design that I would love a kit of. Of course, I think we do have, which this may be based off of, I'm not sure. No, this is based off of the 1/100 scale Master Grade kit by Kojima Dai Taicho. But there is, I think, an old 80s 1/44 scale MSV kit of this design, if I remember correctly. Although I could be wrong, but I believe so. I think there is. But this is a really cool build here. It looks like it's probably using some parts from the P Bandai Master Grade Dodge and the Master Grade Dom there, of course, just kind of a mix up. But yeah, no, it looks like it's probably just based off of the Dodge, actually, here. But some really cool parts on this. Obviously, had to have been, a lot of this would have been custom, completely scratch built, I guess is what I mean to say, for a lot of these parts. Really cool build here of this. Again, some really nice weathering on it as well, and painting on it. Beautiful, beautiful build. Man, as a big fan of these MSV designs, I gotta say, really, really enjoying this publication so far. Really, really nice. Ooh, even under the feet here, that's a really, really cool customization there. This big, huge, like hover fan having to be scratch built there in the bottom of the feet. Very interesting. That's really cool. All right, the Gym Light Armor type here. This is, once again, based off of the Master Grade version 2.0 Gym. This one's modeled by Ryuji Hirose. And yeah, this one we don't have any model kit of, even in HG MSD line, I think we don't have a model kit of this, if I remember correctly. Although, shout out to Eric, who does a lot of really awesome custom builds. Or you guys may also know him by Pryogo Forge. I believe, if I remember correctly, he's done a custom build of this, which was really cool to see. And another one of the gyms that we're gonna see in here too. I know I've seen him do a custom build of. But anyway, yeah, really cool design here of the gym. It's hard to imagine a, like, one-year war gym getting any lighter with the armor, but yep, it can actually get lighter. Just basically doesn't have the shoulder armor on it, and doesn't have the ankle armor, the front ankle armor on it, so it's got a few less pieces of armor and just a really cool color scheme here too as well. One thing that you see in some of these MSV designs, which you don't see in a lot of other cases, which I really like, is having the hands all in one color. We saw this here also with the Johnny Ridden's Zaku here. Something I don't believe, just thinking back quickly, I don't think that I've ever actually tried it, but I need to try it on a future build. I like the look of that. Just kind of an interesting style to these kits to have the hands. Normally you would have like the back of the hand painted in the armor color and then the fingers and everything painted in like your frame color, but to have it all in the same color, I think it looks kind of cool. So something I've always been wanting to try out, and as far as I can remember, thinking back, I don't think that I've done it yet, but maybe I will soon. Okay, so it looks like some of these parts were actually designed and then 3D printed, so that's pretty cool. Interesting to see. Well, yeah, and even this is 5 years ago too, so kind of interesting to see the parts being 3D printed even so long ago. These days, I mean, it is getting more and more common all the time, and I was just going to say how it's interesting to see that featured in a publication like this, but even 5 years ago is quite unique. Anyway, the Zaku mine layer here, this one's 1/44 scale, even though there is a master grade of this. Kind of interesting that they switched to high grade here for a kit that there absolutely is a master grade of. This one's by Nobuyuki Sakurai, and again, really cool design. This is a master grade that I actually have one. I've actually not built it, but I should build it at some point. Really cool variation of the Zaku 2, the mine layer type. Here it is with the regular backpack, and then we'll see it with the mine layer backpack on there as well. But what was the base kit for this? So this is just regular Zaku 2 base kit. It's kind of based off of the Chars. It's kind of a mixed mash you can see up there of the Black Tri-Stars and Chars Zaku 2 there for like the base kit. Yeah, really interesting to see how that turned out. Okay, we've got a diorama here. This one is built and described by Matsuoji. This is titled Take Home, featuring a Zaku Cannon, Zaku Desert type, Zaku Tank, and Dom Tropical Test type. So the same version of the Dom that we saw earlier, and then a couple other mobile suits in here. Really cool Zaku Cannon, a Zaku Desert type here, which is kind of sinking down into the sand or something, or sort of just destroyed or immobilized, and a Zaku Tank there helping it out. So really cool. This is a 1/44 scale diorama here, of course, using some of those old 80s MSV kits. I think all of these, all four, are 80s kits that are available. So really, really cool there. This next one here we might know as the Goof Flight Test Type, or the Goof Flying Test Type, as it's called in here. This one is based off of the HG kits, the HGUC High Grade Goof and Goof R35. Actually, some parts combined of that by Hiroshi Sarai in 1/44 scale. Really cool design here as well for the test type, Goof Flight Type. Goof Flight Test Type, I guess, right? Flying Test Type, as it is here. And again, really cool color scheme. One of the things that I like about these MSV designs is the color schemes on them, and that's why you see a lot of very MSV inspired color schemes in a lot of my custom builds, because I really enjoy these a lot, especially kind of in more recent years. Some cool custom work on this, and there you can see that in use. I'm not really sure what is from the R35 Goof, because I'm not really seeing too much of that. I guess, well, no, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's kind of a combination of the modern HG Goof and then the some of the leg parts from the old 80s MSV kit there. It's very interesting, and some nice custom work done on that. So this is a featured section here about those old 80s MSV kits, well, at least these couple of pages here. You can see some of them. This is the 1/100 scale Full Armor Gundam, the 1/44 scale Jim Cannon, the 1/44 scale High Mobility Type Zaku, Johnny Ridden's Gelgoog, and the Prototype Gundam here. Those are in 1/44 scale as well. So a look at some of these old 80s MSV kits. Very interesting. Something to keep in mind there, absolutely. And then we got a really nice big poster image here of the High Mobility Type Zaku 2. I have a feeling, I think this is the 160 scale it's the 160 scale 80s kit of the High Mobility Type Zaku. It's a kit that I would love to get at some point and work on, just to be able to work on a gigantic 80s kit like that in 160 scale would be cool. And I love the design of the High Mobility Type Zaku, of course, obviously, so it'd be cool to work on this kit. I look forward to it at some point in the future, if and when I'm able to get my hands on one. So here's some work in progress photos over here showing some of the step-by-step modifications and customizations that had to be made to this, just to kind of update it slightly in terms of just like the proportions and the connections and everything like that. And you can see the finished work over here. But that looks really cool. On the next page, another nice photo paired with some more work in progress. So a really nice kind of step-by-step guide, like how to model this kit, which is really cool, really interesting to see. And that's continue here, step 3, step 4, step 5. So a lot of really great stuff in here as to how to model this specific kit, which is really nice to see. So that's cool. Let's continue on here, step 6, step 7. So I'll definitely have to make a mental note to come back to this if and when I get my hands on this kit and I want to work on it. And I can basically come back and use this as a really good reference guide as to how to go about building it. Even to step 9 here is putting an LED in there for the mono eye. That'll be really cool there as well. So the painting of this using a black base and then kind of building up the red to get this really nice pre-shaded look there for the red looks really cool. And here's some finished photos with a Black Tri-Stars custom version in there as well. And some nice photos there of that. Very cool. All right, so that's the end of our MSV feature. We're gonna have a little bit more stuff in here of just some other non-MSV, non-Gundam stuff. Like these are Code Geass, right? Is the correct pronunciation for that? I think so. Anyway, these are what? Anyway, here we have some mechanic drawing data. So some nice illustrations of some of the mecha from that series. And as far as these go, yeah, okay, these are Robot Damashi. So some Robot Damashi figures for you Code Geass fans there. The Gorin Type 02 here, for example. Yeah, anyway, so not really too much of interest to me, not really being a fan of this series and of these mechanical designs, but kind of cool stuff to see in there. And then of the Lancelot here as well. So for any of you guys who are a fan, it's kind of cool to see. And then up next, very interesting here because we have the 1/100 scale LED Mirage V3 here from 5 Star Stories. This is the Volks IMS kit. And I was actually just talking about earlier today how I wanted to check out one of these kits. I've never built one of these kits from the Volks 5 Star Stories series. And I really want to at some point just for the experience, and maybe not in particular this one, but I do want to build one of these kits at some point. So again, this is something you can see there's some tips here about how to build and paint the kit. It seems like mostly how to paint, but some really nice tips here about how to paint this kit in particular, but I'm sure some of these tips could also be useful for painting any of the other kits. But that's also good, something to keep in the back of my mind, that's good content in here for me to refer back to maybe later. Got some more really nice photos here of that painted kit. It looks very, very cool. All right, and then Zabongol here. So this is the Bandai Zabongol. This is a High Metal R. So this is a figure, right? I think the High Metal R series, these are basically like action figures, basically like large action figures, sort of like a metal build or like a Robot Damashi, whatever. But now, like since this magazine actually came out, now we have a newer, it's Modoroid, right? I think there's a new Modoroid model kit of the Zabongol, which if you guys wanted a nice new model kit of this, you can get one with, it's either Modoroid or Hasegawa came out with a Zabongol kit, I believe. I don't think that it was Wave. Anyway, check that out if you're interested. And now for this section, we've got Kawaguchi-san and his assistant here. I'm not sure who this lady is, but this is basically, he's showing her some tips and tricks on how to paint, or how to build, anyway, how to model this old tropical test type Dom, which we saw earlier. But anyway, so here's some more, it looks like kind of, seems like it's targeted at more kind of like beginner tips about working on this particular model, but that could also have some cool tips in there. That's also cool to see. Got this section here of a bunch of different like illustrations, drawings, doodles, I guess would be the better way to go with this. I'm not sure. Anyway, kind of skipping past this, we got a feature about some of the artwork of some of the Space Battleship Yamato model kit releases. So if you've ever built any of those, you'll probably recognize some of this artwork here. That's pretty cool. Let's continue here onto the next page. So nice feature. I would like to see some more features like this in publications, or just like a publication dedicated to just box art from different series. It would be kind of hard to do. Like for Gunpla it would be easy, but if you wanted to do it for like Zoids or something like that, it's hard to make a whole book out of like the Korobukiya HMM Zoids box art, for example, you'd only need like a few pages, but it would be cool if Kotobukiya could like put out some kind of publication like this with just all the box art from like all their different various lines of kits and stuff. I think the licensing would probably be a challenge, but it would be cool to see anyway. So we got a special talk here with Tsuyoshi Nonaka, and there's some of his works up there. I guess a little bit more kind of Musha style Gunpla works there, as you can see. This is not really my style, my taste, but there's some more works you can see. So just kind of a conversation interview here for that section. And section, or works 4 and works 5, there's some more stuff in there. And that's gonna take us pretty much almost to the end here. We have another page about some food stuff, and then over here, that worker Haro kit, really nicely built and painted there. That looks pretty cool. And then on our last page here, some credits, and a see you next issue, which looks to be like it's going to be an issue based off of Code Geass again there. So, all right, interesting. So, I love all the MSV stuff in here. Really cool. What were some of your favorite mobile suits from this issue? Let me know in the comment section. A lot of really cool stuff to see. As these first two, probably my favorite. The Johnny Ridden's Zaku 2, high mobility type Zaku 2, and the Full Armor Gundam were really, really cool. But there's a lot of really great stuff in there. So lots of great stuff to keep this on hand and handy for future ideas, future reference material and inspiration. So as always, guys, if you want to check out some more model kits for yourself, check the link in the video description to USA Gundam store. And if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like here on the video, as well as making sure that you're subscribed, I really appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you so much. Until next time, have a great day, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.